Hi, my name's Amanda Easton. I'm a performer, singer-songwriter from Sydney, Australia. I make retro-inspired theatrical electronic pop. But when I'm not doing my own music, I do
Cabaret,
cover band gigs, solo gigs, tribute shows, recording sessions. Welcome to my Circle of Light vlog.
And I'll be watching you from here. Join me. I can see it frightens you to look into my deepest blue. And I'll be watching you from here.
Hello, how are you? It's very nice to see you today. We have the most incredible day here in Sydney. It's obviously spring now, so that's really exciting. And it's official because I am wearing thongs instead of Ugg boots. And this is the first day that I haven't got up and just put my Ugg boots on. And of course, I'm talking Australian thong. That means shoes, just in case, because I know everybody has a different meaning for that. And I know you Kiwis call them jandals. I don't know where that comes from. And flip-flops, I think, in the UK and maybe in the States as well. Anyway, wherever you are, where are you watching from? You're watching from Missouri. Hi, Bobby. It's so nice to see you. And hi, Sydney. It's lovely to see you as well. And so I'm so excited that I get to wear thongs again and not have to wear my Ugg boots everywhere, even though Ugg boots are an Australian invention, and I'm sure you know what they are, right? They're those boots that are just completely lined and made out of sheepskin, and it means that your feet don't smell when they sweat. Well, they don't sweat because it's sheep's wool, and they're the best. But I'm quite happy to give them up in favour of my thongs. It's just such a beautiful day. So I thought I'd dress like a sunflower today. Sorry if it's a bit bright on your screens, the whole orange thing. So let me see what's happening. It's all very exciting. Hi, Carwin. You're going to find somewhere to hide at work. Yeah, good idea. You keep earning that money, but you make sure you join us. And I just mentioned you because you probably call thongs jandals, right? That's all right. You're forgiven. I have got so many New Zealander friends that, I'm allowed to tease Kiwis because they're practically Australians, right? Hi, Craig. Nice to see you. And hi, Curtis. And Lou is watching from the Southern Highlands. And it's, I bet it's a beautiful day there. It's such a gorgeous area. When the sun's shining, it would be absolutely amazing. Now, I promised, it is a beautiful morning in Sydney. I hope everyone's having a nice morning wherever you are. But I guess it's just about to get warm here when it's getting a little bit chilly elsewhere, except for Arizona where Sydney lives. You want proof about my thongs? All right, here you go. They're Havaianas, right? You're asking me to do some gymnastics here. Yay! There's proof that I've got thongs on. You asked for it. You asked for it. Okay. So I had a great weekend because I had 2 gigs, and lately that's unusual. So there you go. I had lots of fun, and I've been trying the last couple of weeks to film Sing Little Sister, which is hi from Ohio, JW. I've been trying to film my gig at Sing Little Sister gig at Dom's at Penrith that we've been doing quite regularly, so I can share it with you, especially if you're overseas and there's no chance of you making it. So the first week I did, you might have heard me say this before, I filmed it, and just the funny angle it was, because you can't really check these things while you're also setting up your gear, and there's always so much to do at a gig anyway, right? So I didn't watch it until the next day, and because I'm sitting down at my keyboard and Joe's standing up at the guitar, even though she's only a slight petite thing, she looks like a giant and I look like a midget. So I thought, no, I'm not sharing that. So, okay, the next time we did it was this weekend, and I found a different angle and I was really happy with it. And so I went home and watched it, and I thought, I know it's going to be good. I really worked hard to I've got gaffer tape on the camera tripod, and I've got really gone to a big effort to try and get the angle much better. And the angle was great, it really did work. I didn't look like a midget, but because I had to put the tripod further away and the crowd was so noisy, you can pretty much hear the crowd. So now I'm the miming midget because it looks like I wasn't even singing because you could just kind of see my mouth moving. Anyway, I reckon third time lucky. We're going to work it out. We're going to put another device closer to where we are or out of the mixer and, get a live... Oh, there's trouble with these tops. And it will get a proper live sound and then I'll be able to share that with you. Where are you, Curtis? Love from the UK, Brackley. Ah, there you go. Okay, so what I can show you though, Joe Elms and I, my partner in Sing Little Sister, did do some recordings from home, and I showed, if you were here last Thursday, I showed you one, but this is a different one, so I hope you enjoy this.
Throw your soul through every open door. Count your blessings to find what you look for. Turn my sorrow into treasured gold. You pay me back in kind and reap just what you sow. We could have had it all.
You're gonna wish you never had me.
Rolling in the deep. You have my heart inside.
Wish you
Of your hand. And you played it, you played it, you played it to the beat.
There you go. That's just a little snippet from one of the songs that we do. And Sydney is saying it's Labor Day in the US. So happy Labor Day. Does that mean you get a day off? Is that actually a public holiday? I hope so. And if so, thanks so much for spending it with me. Although you're at night, so you've already had it, I guess. But either way, happy Labor Day, US friends. And in that little video, you can, as you always see me in the same kind of place, I'm in this little attic room that we actually built into the house so that I could have my own space. And my little pussycat Smokey, who you've probably seen as a guest, not necessarily invited on my live stream sometimes. When we first got her, she was, a tiny little kitten. And the room that I'm in is literally in the attic. It's been built, out of the roof space. And it's got an electronic ladder. So you actually turn a dial and it's, and the ladder goes down. And ever since she was little, she's been really intrigued by the ladder. And when she was a tiny little kitten, the steps are probably this far apart. And she's a little Burmese, so they're quite small. She'd put her paws on one and she'd go, yeah! And she'd pull herself up one step and then she'd go, yeah! And there's, 15 steps or something. So half an hour later, she'd come up into the room and she'd be so excited that, there's this space that she could be in. Then getting down, it was the same. She'd put her paws down and kind of flop to one step, stop for a while and rest, and then do it again. Now she's full grown, it's much easier, and she gets up in seconds. So I wanted to share my own funny cat video. So this is whenever I pull the ladder down, this is what happens. And this is my hallway. So this is actually where I am right now. So here comes the ladder. She gets really excited. And there she goes. And that's where I am now. I just want to show you quickly again this video. I want you to notice the hallway. Just have a look at the hallway because I'm going to show you something else in a second. Okay. Now, look at that hallway. What can you see or not see in the hallway? All right. So now I'm going to show you something my son... Hi, Pete. Lovely to see you. James, nice to see you. Marlon. It is a day off, Bobby. That is good news. Okay, so I'm going to show you now another cat video, the same pussycat. It's still Smokey. And this is what we did in lockdown. We would do the Pussycat Olympics, right? But I want you to also notice, while you're watching the mean skills of my pussycat, I want you to have a look at the hallway and see if you can notice what's different. We call these the Lockdown Olympics. Look at that face, that determination. Is she going to do it? Smokey.
No, she can't make
Hi,
it.
Troy.
Oh! She's so cute. Ooh, that's a close pull.
Go down a little bit more.
That's enough. She's gonna make it now.
Shed some light on the subject. Oops.
Oh!
Just as I turned the light off.
Look at the distance. Look at the distance. You can
Look at that
see
distance.
a fine model. Look at the distance.
Very good,
It's
Craig.
safely up there.
So Craig has noticed that in the first video, which wasn't locked
Can't
down,
believe
there
I
was
turned
no
the light off at the
alcohol
wrong
in the
time.
hallway. In the second video, there are bottles of beer and wine and champagne in the hallway because you tend to need more of that in lockdown. But did you notice in that video, I thought the light wasn't on, so I thought, oh, I'll turn the light on because she's about to jump up the stairs. And then, of course, I turned the light off just as she jumped up the stairs. And so we missed it altogether, but she really did do it. So I think that's pretty clever that she can jump that far. Anyway, I promised a funny cat video, and I think my cat's pretty funny, so there you go. I also thought, I love that people say it's just nice to catch up and, puts a smile on their face, to have a friendly face and to share some good news. And Curtis is asking, may I ask when your next music video is coming out? Well, I've just done a whole lot of them, so I think it's going to be probably still a couple of months away as far as the original material, because I've written a new album, not quite finished yet, but I do intend to start releasing the tracks from that soon. Hi, Larry, lovely to see you. But Curtis, what I am doing still is doing other little videos of covers and stuff that I love. And a good friend of mine, I spoke about this a little while ago, but he kind of got busy. A good friend of mine, his name is Nick Hardcastle. He's been living in LA, and I don't need to tell you that, LA's been a difficult place to live lately. And we had a plan to do a duet together. But he is now actually in quarantine in Sydney. So we are going to do that duet now he's here. It just got a little bit hard with everything that he was dealing with over there. And Nick Hardcastle is actually quite well known in Australia. He was in a soapie you might know of called Home and Away. I'm not sure if that's hit America, but certainly it is a big thing in Australia and in the UK. And he's done he runs a theatre company now. He's done lots of film and TV and all sorts of stuff. He's a great guy. He loves his really commercial pop music, as I do. So this was his suggestion. A duet that we're going to do is actually from, I'm not going to spoil it and tell you exactly what it is, but it's from Two Soapy Stars. So that is probably the next music video to come out, I would say. And thank you for asking, but the original stuff is coming soon. So Troy is from Detroit, and it's 9 p.m. Oh, that's a reasonable time. So I'm glad you've probably had a great day and you're relaxing maybe by now, which is great. Oh, Curtis, you love Home and Away. It's very Australian, so I think it's really great from that point of view. Hello, Harry. It's nice to hear from you in Indiana. It's 8:15. All right, so I was talking about good news. Don't we just at the moment want to hear good news? I mean, I know at the beginning of this whole thing, I was checking the news every single day, and I'm not really that person. I've got to say, when I had a child, I kept away from the news because I found myself even more sensitive than I was already, and I was pretty sensitive already. And just hearing the news all the time made me feel bad. So I stopped reading the news. Hi, Peter, how are you? Oh, they're called slippers in the Philippines, thongs, are they? Oh, there you go. And so when the whole COVID thing hit, I found myself looking at the news every day. And most of it's bad, really, isn't it? When you look at the news, there's not much good stuff. And so I decided I'm going to purposely look for good news. And I found this story which I really like. And you already know that I like alcohol because you saw it in my hallway. But these little things here, I'm going to show you a picture, are called wine windows. So they used to have them in the 16th century in Tuscany in Italy. And they had them because of the bubonic plague. So because of the plague, they wanted to keep distant and everything like we do now. And so they created these little windows in the wall that people could get their wine from without having any human contact. And they've been closed off for centuries, for ages, but they just decided to start opening them again so that we can use them in our current plague situation. And I just think they're the most gorgeous things, and they're being used now for gelato and coffees and everything, not only wine. And I just think that is adorable. You know, I mean, there's so many negative things, obviously, as a result of what we're going through, but there are nice things. And even if it's a small thing like that, I think it's worth sharing. So there you go. I don't think there are any wine windows in Sydney, but I think somebody should definitely invent them. So after my talk with you guys, I'm going to do this, another live stream actually. Gone live stream crazy. And I did talk about this a little while ago, that I was doing one of these Facebook Lives when I got contacted by somebody who asked me to join a live stream music platform. It's called Sessions Live, and it's specifically for live music. So, you know, there are a lot of live streaming platforms that do gaming and, you know, like a mix of different things. And obviously Facebook Live, you can do whatever you want. But this is specifically for music. And so they asked me to, it was almost like an audition, which was kind of weird, but it was more about the technology. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know I've struggled with the technology on and off. And that's because I've had to put together a whole new kind of sound setup. I can't show you with the way the laptop's set up now, but I've got a mixer, I've got about 20 different cables, and I mean, lighting aside, that's another thing, but there's a lot of stuff happening from the sound point of view. And I wanted to do that for Facebook Live anyway, because it means that I can show you videos and I can do other things rather than just talk straight into my phone. And hopefully the sound is a little bit better as well. But this sessions, people are really strict about what they want. So I've done kind of 3 different live streams where they've said, yeah, that's good, but you need to fix that, you need to change that audio thing, you need to buy one of those. And anyway, so it's been a couple of months, and eventually I've got it right, apparently. So they've asked me to join, and the whole idea of it is because it's only for live music, it'll attract more people, and you'll get to share your music with more people, and you can do whatever you want at the shows. And they do this touring thing as well, where you can actually charge tickets and you know, put on a more formal show. But I'm just doing free live streams, but people can tip and, you know, do all sorts of other things if they want to as well. And I'll just show you what that looks like. So this is their website address. Sessions Live is the name of it. It was actually put together by the same guy who started Pandora, which is, you know, Pandora Radio in the States. We don't actually have it here anymore, but we used to have it. And it's like a music mapping program, a little bit like what Spotify does when you choose an artist's name and a radio. So one of my favorite artists in the world is Goldfrapp. So on Pandora, if I typed in Goldfrapp, it'd play me some Goldfrapp songs, but it would also play me some songs that were similar. And they actually, you know, listen to the music and say, well, that's got a kind of a similar feel, a similar beat, a similar tempo, it's got a female voice, or they work out all different ways of matching music to kind of curate playlists for people, which is fantastic. So Troy is saying, I imagine they're BBC and Sky News Network. It's the same old bad news. In the States, we're the worst. Yeah, it's really hard to find good news. You have to kind of search for it. And sure, we all need to know what's going on in our world. But at the same time, you know, I think we could all do with some good news, huh? Anyway, so this sessions thing I am doing today, and I purposely haven't made a big deal of kind of promoting it because I'm still new. And, you know, I probably won't be really 100% on my game yet, but, you know, you guys are my friends and you're welcome to come along. As I said, it's free. That is the web address up there, sessionslive.com, and then just my name. So, yeah, that's kind of exciting. So I'm doing that after this, because I thought, you know, I live stream once, I'll just keep live streaming. It's the way of the future, I really do think. So I have got, after having 2 big gigs last week, which was so exciting, and in the old days, by the way, I would do 4 or 5 gigs would be normal, so it's kind of weird. But 2 gigs felt like a lot because I haven't done any for so long. And this week I don't have any, so it's gone from that to that, which is why I thought I would do a live stream at least to, keep going and keep performing. And next week on Tuesday night, I've got my Lady Gaga show, which I have told you all about, and I'm almost sold out, but just in case, that is the show. It's next Tuesday at a beautiful French restaurant cabaret room called Claire's, which, interestingly enough, is my middle name, Claire. And I've always said that Claire is my alter ego, so when I did something naughty, I'd blame Claire. But I've recently realised that my actual alter ego is Lady Gaga. In my dreams. So I've decided to create a show around Lady Gaga songs and my own songs with, funny little stories in between. So that's the idea of the cabaret show, which I'm only just debuting. It should have kind of happened a while ago, but, thanks to the world's issues, it didn't.
Hello, how are you? I hope you've had a good day today, or you're about to have a good day. I've had a little bit of a strange one, I've got to say, and I know I've got the voice of God thing happening again. I'm a bit echoey. I don't know why. But I did a session today, so I did some recording for another artist who was after some singing on songs that he wrote. And in the studio, they actually, when they were setting up my microphone, the engineer stood on the base of the microphone stand and it hit me in the head. So I'm feeling a little bit tender. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, maybe it knocks some sense into me if we're lucky. But it kind of hurt. And I was thinking that I might not have made it tonight, and partly because I thought we would have been delayed because I got hit in the head. But, so if I was confusing, because I put a Facebook post up saying, oh, I might not be here. Turns out I'm here. Hi, Craig, lovely to see you. So, yes, I thought I might talk about the occupational hazards of being a performer, apart from being hit in the head with a microphone stand like I was today. So I know you don't really think about singing as being a dangerous job, do you? There are plenty of other jobs that are way more dangerous than being a singer. And you'd probably put, being a singer pretty much at the end of the list. But I thought I might go through some of the things that I have done. And I don't know if I'm particularly clumsy. I think the first thing is your ego. That gets a bit of a battering. That's an occupational hazard of being a singer for sure. I used to have an agent that I worked with who said, everybody has 2 jobs, their own and entertainment. Which I think the point is that a lot of people enjoy music and entertaining, so they feel like they have a stake in it, which is actually a good thing, right? You want people to be interested and engaged in what you're doing, but it does mean sometimes you get people come up and kind of go, you should do this and you need to do this, and that probably happens in lots of jobs too. And then I remember actually, Craig, I don't know if you were there, I'm not sure, but we were doing the Blondie versus Pretenders show, and it felt like it went really well. It was at DY. Hello, Jose. And, I was feeling really pumped because it's a new show and I thought we did really well. And this lady came up and said, oh, yeah, the show was great. So what do you do? I thought, hang on, I don't understand. She just said the show was great, so she must have seen me in it. And I was still dressed, in my stage clothes. I said, what do I do? She goes, yeah, what's your job? I thought, I'm a singer? Oh, you do this professionally? Yeah, doesn't it seem like it? I'm sure she didn't mean to offend me, but it's like, yes, does not look like I'm actually doing this properly. Anyway, so the ego gets battered around in our job. Another occupational hazard of being a singer, standing on the wrong side of the guitarist on a stage that's too small and getting hit by the neck. That has happened to me. Another one with the microphone stand, and if you missed it today, I got hit in the face with a microphone stand at a session. So, these things happen. Hi, dear, lovely to see you. So the microphone stand often
is a bit of a lethal weapon when you're a singer. So sometimes if maybe you haven't got a stage but you're on the flat, like sometimes at a wedding you might get set up on a dance floor. And actually, particularly weddings, this has happened to me because it's happened more than once, that dancers get a bit enthusiastic and they knock the mic stand. And, generally you don't have your hands on the mic stand because that's what the mic stand is for, so you don't have to hold the mic. And so the mic stand gets knocked straight into your teeth. I don't think I know one singer who that hasn't happened to. Okay, occupational hazards of being a singer. Number 4, smoke. Now, I remember at the beginning of my career, we used to deal with cigarette smoking in pubs and clubs, and you'd come home and your hair would be full of smoke and, your clothes, and thank goodness that doesn't happen anymore. But now we just have smoke machines. It's like we didn't really have as many smoke machines then, at the beginning of my career when we had smokers, than we do now. So it's almost like somebody has missed the smoke and has decided to replace it. So the stuff that they put in smoke machines is carcinogenic, I've been told, so that's not really wonderful. I don't like sucking that stuff in. And I have had times where I've come out on stage ready to sing and go so there is that. Okay, one very common occupational hazard of being a singer or being a performer is falling over on stage. I've actually only done this once, which is pretty surprising. Touch wood. I'm sure it'll happen again one day. And it happened, I was doing a kids show and I was playing Lady Gaga and I was wearing these shoes. So really, it's not surprising. Hey, Darren, how are you? Lovely to see you. You look after yourself, please, mister. Okay, these shoes. So I think just about anyone wearing those shoes has got a good chance of falling over. But the funny thing is, it was during this show called Princesses of Pop, which to this day is still one of the most fun shows I've ever done. So I was dressed up and performed and kind of impersonated Lady Gaga. One of my girlfriends did the same with Rihanna, and another one was Katy Perry. So we're the Princesses of Pop, the 3 of us, and we did our own songs in our own part of the show, and then we performed together. And the encore was Raw, the Katy Perry song. And there's one line, it says, "Pick yourself up." And I fell over on those shoes just before that line. So it was perfect. So I was in the middle and the girls on either side pulled me up. And a friend of mine was at the show and she said, "That falling over thing, you did mean to do that, didn't you?" So at least I tricked some of the people. Okay, now you're going to laugh at this one and think I sound like a diva. But the pain is real, people. Sequin burn. Now, anyone that's ever worn anything made of sequins, especially on the top half of their body, will know what I'm talking about. Now, you need to wear shiny things on stage, right? That's part of our job, to wear shiny things. If you wear a dress, especially around here, the armholes, sequins, like they're little pieces of kind of hard plasticky glass stuff. And they stick in, and then you end up pulling it over your head, and these stage clothes are tight, so you get like little lumps and bumps from all the sequins. So I call it sequin burn. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I call it. Hi, Barry. Barry's in Ireland. I love this. We've got people all over the world, although we do have a lot of Australians. Come on, where's all my international friends? Oh, don't get me wrong, guys. I love my Australians. Absolutely. Jose, where are you from? You could be from Australia, but probably not, I would say. Okay, so occupational hazards of being a performer. Number 7, your eyes sticking together. Now, this tends to happen to the female performers more than the male, and you're going, what? It's because of the false eyelashes. I'm not wearing false eyelashes now, but when I'm on stage, the whole idea of makeup and outfits, obviously, in a live stage, as opposed to TV or something, is it has to be exaggerated so that the people at the back of the room can see what's going on without being right up there. So that's why we wear kind of, crazy makeup and that kind of things. And the eyes, obviously, are the windows to the soul and tell a lot of the story. So you need to exaggerate them. So we wear these big false eyelashes. But how do you stick the false eyelashes on? With glue. And it's not super glue exactly, but it's pretty close. And sometimes if you don't quite get it right, and these little fluffy critters are really hard to put on, I can tell you, you end up sticking your eyes together, and sometimes maybe the bottom bit will stick up to the top, and you know, you look very, very attractive. It actually hurts when I laugh. If you missed it earlier, I got hit in the head by a microphone stand at my recording session this afternoon. Okay, and the last one. Number 8, occupational hazards of being a performer. Fishnet stocking squeeze. I don't know if you've ever experienced it for yourself, but this is another thing. I had a friend that used to call them fake legs. Are you wearing your fake legs again? Because they're fishnet stockings. You're probably more familiar. Hi, Willem. Lovely to see you. You would be familiar with fishnet stockings, I'm sure. You know, usually they're black and they're like a fishnet shape, as in a fishing net, but they're much more attractive on, I think. But often performers will wear the flesh-coloured ones. Thank you, Barry. Hi, London. We have London as well. I know I've got too much reverb, Willem. I'm not sure what's going on. I pressed all the right buttons that told me I didn't have reverb, but yet it still came. I think it's actually something to do with the delay. So I'm trying to sort that out, but I'm sorry. I know our friend Carwin calls it the voice of God. So, you know, we can only hope. But yes, fishnet stockings. So often we performers will wear the flesh-coloured fishnet stockings. So from the audience point of view, you can't actually see the fishnet, but the fishnets are made, they're elasticized and they suck you in, and so they give your legs a nice shape. And, you know, if you haven't been out in the sun, it gives you kind of a false tan and it just makes your legs look better. So you wear these fishnet stockings, but because they're elasticized, by the end of the night, your legs and, you know, half your torso are squeezed to death, especially your toes in the really high shoes that we wear, of course, as well. So you kind of peel off these fishnet stockings and your body goes bleh. But part of it kind of stays all shrunk in and elasticized, and you literally have the cross-hatch pattern all over your legs for at least a few hours. So do you feel sorry for me yet? Oh, it hurts when I laugh. I'm sorry if you missed that. I don't know if you can see it, but I've been hit in the head by a microphone stand today. Anyway, I'll stop trying to beg for sympathy, but I thought I would talk about the occupational hazards of being a performer as a result. And, you know, there are people that risk their life for other people for a living, so I do understand that being a performer really is pretty damn easy compared to what other people have to do. Okay, so let me see. Last week, the week before last, I would have told you about something I was doing called Spotlight on Sydney. And it's been put together by some local musicians, and obviously the focus is on Sydney musicians. And basically one of them has a studio called Canon Music Sound Studios in Brookvale. And especially during this time, it wasn't getting as much use as it used to. And so he decided to put it to good use and to create a kind of community radio station that's part audio-visual as well. So it's got a YouTube site associated with it. And it's all about having bands come in and getting them to do really high-quality recordings, so multi-track recordings. And Willem's saying, same happens when setting up for performers. Absolutely. You know, our world is more dangerous than people realise, huh? And so the Spotlight on Sydney is about getting people to come in and perform live in the studio, but really high quality recordings, production standards, so that the artists can actually walk away with something that they could even release and use as a, you know, high quality live recording, and all video recorded with multiple cameras, and also an interview, you know, quite an in-depth interview as well. Well, I was very privileged and happy to be the guest, the third guest, or episode 3, because it's only a relatively new show. And it's not out yet, the episode's not out yet, but I actually did all the recording last weekend, and I made a little bit of a behind-the-scenes video so you can, you know, see what's happening. But before I get to that, I'd really encourage you to check it out if you want to find out about other local to me, not necessarily to you, but that's a good thing, right? That you can find out about some other musicians and artists and bands that are going on in this part of the world. And it's going to be a really wide range of artists because The first two, so I'm episode 3, the first two are actually legendary Australian acts. So I actually feel very privileged to be in their company. But the idea is it'll be a mix of established and newer and in the middle kind of acts across every genre, from, contemporary genre, from blues to soul to pop, electronic, all sorts of things. So the Australians here will know these acts, I think, but maybe, my overseas friends won't. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a snippet of the acts that have been shown on Spotlight on Sydney so far. The first one was a musician called Robert Zeus, and he was in a band in the 80s in Australia that had a few hits, but one massive hit in particular. So he's episode 1. I'm just going to show you a fragment of that. Oh, that's not it. No, this is it.
Cool. It's just a soul and feeling, moving with the beat. It's just a soul and feeling, sounding kind of sweet. Not talking about religion, no. Not talking about fashion, no. Not talking about money, no.
So that's Robert Zeus. And episode 2 was a gentleman called Alex Smith, who I had the pleasure of working with recently. And this is also from the 80s, but both of these men are still absolutely rock stars. I mean, they've had long careers, and I love that. So this is episode number 2, Alex Smith.
But this next song is for all of those people, and for you as well. This is written by Gary, our guitar player, who's now playing keyboards just to confuse you. This is a song called What About Me? Well, there's a little boy waiting at the counter of a corner shop. He's been waiting down there, waiting half the day. They never ever see him from the top. He gets pushed around, knocked to the ground. He gets to his feet and he says, what about me? It isn't fair. I don't have enough, now I want my share. Can't you see? I want to live, but you just take more.
So I'm not sure if the non-local people will know either of those songs, but certainly in Australia, massive hits. And as I was saying, they had a lot of their popularity, started at least in the 80s, but both have careers in their own right now. And Moving Pictures itself, the band is still going, as well as Alex doing solo work. They're still going strong. They've still got the whole rock star swagger and performance and talent to back it up. Still, getting lots of gigs, still loving it. And that's such an inspiration. I hope to be 80 and I'll have pink and green hair or something and, still performing, I hope. I hope anybody would still want to see me at that stage. But I love that. I love it that, they've had fame and they could have easily rested on their laurels and gone, had number 1, multiple of them, different countries, I can relax now. But they're doing it because they love it, and that's such a wonderful thing. So those two were the episode 1 and episode 2 of Spotlight on Sydney, and you can just search it up on Facebook and you can find their page. But this is the little behind-the-scenes video I made of the day when we did our filming, so I hope you enjoy.
We can be like a Sudley Buster.
Hello there, I am in Brookvale. Look at those beautiful Australian gum leaves up there. Might even be some koalas. Let's go upstairs and see what's going on. Here she is.
Oh, you caught me in my tracks.
And this is where all the magic happens. This is the control room. And they're all setting up now. So many buttons for one little singer. This is Greg Olbach,
Hello.
who is responsible for lots of the clever stuff that happens here. I'm glad you're speaking into a mic with no cable. I might be a singer, but I know something. So this is where we will be setting up. Gotta love that. This is Daniel. We are at his house now.
Welcome.
We have Simon Morell getting set up for some fabulous guitar work. Dave Kirby here on the drums. Looking very sharp, I must say, boys. Better go put my dress on.
Probably need it.
Hello!
Just about to say hello, yeah.
So we've finished our performance. We had a big feast, which was very nice, and now it's time for us to have an interview. So here we go. The set's all been changed. Now it's going to be It's going to be an interview space. Working very hard there.
Hello.
Hello.
They call me tripod.
Oh my goodness.
All right, we're ready.
Hang on, we're not. Hang on.
Can you pretend you're interviewing at the moment?
Yeah.
Ask me questions.
Throw it at me. I can take it.
And Amanda, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Nothing, because I had to fit into my dress.
So please welcome our guest for episode 3 of Spotlight on Sydney. Now tell us all about how you started singing.
And I was quite a shy kid, believe it or not, but when it came to singing it, I felt like I had this bubbling up and I needed to do this. So I always felt like I must have got my love of music and my musicality from my mum, but I recently found out that I'm related to Amanda Easton. On my father's side, when I was in a musical with our current Prime Minister, Scott Morrison. All right, I need a girl singer, and she's got to play the lagerphone. It's going to be on a cruise, and George Foreman's going to be there.
My anthem to you, my rockabilly blue, I'm sending love to you. Don't leave us so soon. My rockabilly.
I didn't mean to be such a name dropper. I was going through the footage going, oh, shut up, Amanda. There's something, you have to watch yourself and listen to yourself as an artist so often, and it just can make you cringe sometimes. But I hope you enjoyed that little behind-the-scene peek, and keep an eye out for episode 3. I think it'll be in a week or so, I would say. It was a lot of fun, and I don't know if anybody noticed, but the song that you heard, the main song that you heard, especially at the end there of that, is called Rockabilly Blue, which is from my current mini album, Polaroids and Postcards. And the album actually doesn't have any guitar on it. It's very synth and keyboard driven. There's cellos as well, actually quite a bit of strings and orchestral stuff, but there are no guitars. And that's been the case in my last couple of albums, although before that I did have a lot of guitar. But I had a guitarist, Simon Morell, work live on those recordings that we did for Spotlight on Sydney. And I thought, what's the point of doing the songs exactly the same way when you've already got recordings of them? So I liked the idea of having a different instrument in. And I've got to say, I think I might have to have guitars on my next record. I didn't realise how much I missed it. I kind of didn't have it to just do something different, try and go in a bit of a different direction. But, oh my goodness, I really missed the guitar and I loved what he brought to those songs. So I hope you like it when it comes out. You'll, if you've heard the original ones, you'll be able to hear the difference. Oh, I've got a little friend here. Hey, Smokes. No, that's where I've got a sore Face, okay. It's a little bit rude to put your bottom in the camera, Smokey. That's her favourite place to sit. Anyway, that's quite appropriate because, you know, if you look at the colour of her, don't you think she looks like, hello, that's your nice face. That's much nicer to show your face. She's just the same colour as a koala. And if you saw the little koala in that video I made there, he was hungry and that's why he was making that noise. But I'm determined to share good news, especially during this time. And this is not brand new news, but it's news enough and it's cute and it's Australian. So here's a little bit of good news for you.
The Australian Reptile Park is so excited to announce the birth of Anna, a beautiful baby koala joey. She's Elsa's sister, so it had to be Anna. Elsa became famous last year when I hand raised her and we introduced her to the world. We were so excited to introduce her to her baby sister Anna today. As Anna grows up, she'll become part of our very important conservation breeding program, which is crucial now, especially in light of the recent bushfire and drought devastation in Australia.
Oh, how cute are koalas. I mean, we all know that actually they bite and scratch and they're a bit smelly, but that's a little bit like you too. Can you hear her purring? Purr in the microphone. I think there's something about a cat's purring that just makes you feel so good. So I hope you can hear it. She's a lovely girl. Well, let me see. I actually have no gigs this weekend, but next Tuesday I'm doing my Gaga versus Me show, which I've been putting together for months now because it's the debut of a show and it really gets you thinking because I haven't added up the hours that I've spent on it. But the actual show on the night will be 40 minutes. And, you know, it could be 100 times that goes into the preparation. And, you know, obviously because it's a new show, there's a lot more work into it. But any performance takes a lot longer than the actual performance. And I think, you know, not everybody really realises that. And nowadays, and unfortunately, I missed the good old days apparently, when you would have, you know, separate promoters and you know, stage people and you name it, or the kind of crew that I do sometimes have on bigger shows, of course. But a lot of the time, I'm dragging the PA in and the piano, and it's up to me to sell tickets to my own show, and I've got to produce the entire thing myself. I've got to source the costumes. I've got to, you know, actually play the music half the time. So, and I'm not complaining because I love doing all of that stuff. But I talked to older performers that said, you know, all we had to do was to get up and perform, learn the stuff. And then, I mean, a lot of that obviously is still not easy, but at least you don't have to think. The worst thing is being at a show, one of your shows, and you put so much work into it, but you're looking out into the audience, counting the heads, counting how many people are there to, you know, work out if you've attracted enough people to your show to pay your musicians or pay the advertising bills or all of that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a different world, and it's, you know, it's no one's fault. It's probably everyone's job is like that now, that you have to do a lot more. Computers have kind of made it possible for us all to do more, but that's sometimes a negative because it means we have to do everything in our jobs instead of just doing that one specialised thing that maybe in the past you would have been able to do. I spoke about occupational hazards of being a performer earlier because I got hit in the face with a microphone stand today at my session, and I didn't mention the biggest occupational hazard of all, which is obviously the voice. And you can probably hear mine's a little bit scratchy now, so I'm going to say goodbye at this point. I think it's scratchy partly from the trauma of having been hit over the head, but partly because I've been singing all day in the studio. So Smokey and I would like to say thank you so much for joining us. Have a fabulous weekend. I know it's a little while away yet, but it's coming, it's coming. Have a wonderful time, and I'll see you next Tuesday if you're around. I'll be live again on Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Okay, all the best. See you later.